Right. So, drawing from the recent national conference on illicit financial flows in Abuja, which was held, I think, a month ago, where Dr. Zacchaeus Adedeji from FRS, highlighted how these flows rob Nigeria of funds of infrastructure, healthcare, and and what have you. But here is the caveat. Experts or critics are saying, yes, you're bringing up different strategies, collaborating with the EFCC, the ICPC, customs, FRS, etc., in order to tackle these financial flows. And yet we are looking for investors. Fine, some people who have stolen money are investing in real estate, etc. How do you think this will not jeopardize our drive, as we have the president outside of the country, wooing investors? How do you think this will not jeopardize our drive to bring in investors who will now be thinking, okay, if I'm going to be coming here, I want to make money and I have to take money back to my country. Won't they think that, I'm also involved in these illicit financial flows across countries?
No, not at all. There are legal ways. Like, just to give a little basic definition of illicit financial flow. When you take money out of the country through unethical process, illegally, that is what we're referring to. But if you are a genuine businessman and you run a genuine business and you want to export your profit, there is a legal way of doing it, and you take a legal route, and the country, as a matter of fact, is creating an enabling environment for that to happen. What we are talking here is illicit financial flow, illegal financial flow, unethical financial flow, particularly the black economy. Most of these business, we call them the black economy because they don't follow the legal processes, and it is a criminal act. Like, take for example the mining sector. Most of the artisanal mining that is happening in the country, they don't disclose the identity of the owner, and that's why some of the things that we are raising around to ensure transparency and accountability in the mining sector is to call for beneficial ownership, so that we know those who own those entities. But if you are a foreign investor, you are coming into the country, you need to you register with the Corporate Affairs Commission. And in that way, the identity of the ownership of that entity will be known to the authority. And when you are trying to transfer your profit back, you have to follow the legal process. And in that process, organizations like NFIU, the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, will be able to know about what you are disclosing and what you are exporting out of the country. That is not what we're referring to. And companies who are willing to do genuine business, there are regulatory framework they need to follow. And that will not constrain them not exporting their profit out of the country. But what we are essentially looking at when we refer to these $15 to $18 billion that is illicitly taken out of the country, that need to be separated from genuine businessmen who comes into the country to do business. For example, businessmen who also underreport their export, just to make sure that they shift the profit. Those are the criminal actors that we are referring to here. And those kind of actors are what EFCC is looking for, not the genuine businessmen. So I think it is in the interest of these genuine businessmen that we almost join forces together to tackle the challenge of illicit financial flow in Nigeria. Because what the illicit financial flow is doing to the economy is stealing the future of this country. It's taking resources that are supposed to be used for major infrastructure. It's taking the resources that we're supposed to use to build hospital, to build health center, to build infrastructure, to ensure that there is economic growth, prosperity for our country. But because of the activity of these characters, we are denied of this prosperity. And that's why all hands must be on deck, because it's also another way of also sending out potential foreign investor. Like I mentioned earlier on, Nigeria is currently on the FATF green list. And the implication of that is that Nigeria is seen as a country which financial system is not clean because of the activity of these characters who are involved in this illicit financial flow activities in the country. And so it's our challenge for everybody to work together. to see that we end and block this illicit financial flow out of the country, because it is not doing the country any good.
Yes.
It is denying the country the resources that we need to drive the development of this country. Is denying the country the image that we need that will attract foreign investors into the country. If we are to leave the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force green list, then we must put in place a system that will send the right signal to potential investors that are willing to bring in capital into the country to invest. It's only then we will guarantee economic growth. And without economic growth, you can't talk about tackling the poverty challenge that we are facing in the country. And that same tied to the whole overall policy of the current government of trying to see how they will deal with the challenge of poverty through social protection and other policies that will help tackle the challenge of poverty in the country.